Prevention is better than cure. And that's partially the reason why I couldn't make this video earlier. I wanted to do this. I have been wanting to do this since the month of August or September, I guess. So, when we speak about prevention is better than cure, does anybody know any prevention or how to prevent this dread of getting out of the bed? Like, it's been a real struggle. And to be honest, I really didn't feel like putting on my makeup and doing this video, but I had to. The quick meltdown there. But yeah, subscribe to this channel if you are interested to know if psychologists, therapists, psychotherapists also have disorders, because I'm coming up with a myth-bunking video soon, so any conditioning or misinformation that you have about therapists, psychologists will be. So subscribe for that video, okay? Now, going back to the topic, what I actually wanted to cover was that how bullies are made. So we have known about this incident at Jadavpur, which took place in July 2023, where a student of Jadavpur University was murdered inside the university hostel campus. So I didn't want to make this video too soon because everybody was leveraging, because it was in the news, it was everywhere, and some people, I cannot speak for all of them, but some of them have definitely used it to get some traffic on their channels. I didn't want to do that because I felt it, and I felt it hard. So I have been doing my own research ever since, and it didn't take me long to realize that rather than catching bullies, punishing bullies, and trying to treat bullies, what if we could actually detect when somebody that we know, our children, our siblings, our friends, or anybody, it could happen to anybody at any point in time. I'll be getting that in a bit. But what if we could actually detect who all are becoming bullies even before they become bullies and prevent that shit from happening? So I have two theories to explain over here. I'll be starting out with Bandura's Bobo experiment, because see guys, bullying, bullies are not born, it's a learned behavior. So I remember this one interview at the Jadavpur University campus, like over a decade ago. There was a reporter who was roaming around, and there were reports of ragging, and he asked some of those potential bullies that what made you a bully, and then they said that, well, I was bullied. So that was one of the logic, or one of the reasons why they became a bully as well, so that they could victimize people and could understand that what it is like to be in a position of power. And also some say it's something like we wanted to make those people street smart so that they could deal with anything, and it's our responsibility as seniors. Okay, I mean, that doesn't sound too human of an approach, but logic actually. Anyway, so getting back to the Bandura's Bobo experiment. Here's the footage that we have from the Stanford University and Albert Bandura. This is a footage of the actual Bandura's Bobo experiment, where we can see that an adult female has entered the stage and is displaying aggressive behavior towards a Bobo doll. This study was mainly conducted to demonstrate observational learning and the influence of role models on behavior. So now we can see a child doing the exact same thing to the Bobo doll, because a group of children were made to watch the adult woman that we just saw. And these children have been given different tools to cause harm to the Bobo doll. So these children who observed the adult behaving aggressively towards the Bobo doll, later when they were given the opportunity, the children imitated the aggressive behavior they had witnessed. Okay. Now, when it comes to bullying, this experiment highlights the potential impact of observing aggressive behavior on individuals. And it also suggests that exposure to aggressive behavior can contribute to the development of aggressive tendencies in the observers. In the context of bullying, children who witness or experience bullying may internalize these behaviors and in turn display aggressive tendencies themselves. So this is as a coping mechanism or a defensive mechanism, you might say. And this research also emphasizes the role of social learning in shaping behavior. Okay, underscoring the importance of positive role models and environments that discourage aggressive conduct. So what we can learn from this experiment is that addressing bullying requires not only addressing individual behaviors, but also creating a culture that promotes positive social interactions and discourages aggressive behaviors learned through observation. So in a way, we can say that when in schools, colleges, or universities, bullying takes place, it's usually the bullies they have either learned it through watching bullying, like somebody else getting bullied or some people doing the act of bullying, or they have been subjected to being bullied themselves, and they have internalized that. And as you can see in this footage as well, these children have gotten creative as well, like they're using different tools to express their aggression towards the Bobo doll. So that's what happens in the real world as well. So somebody might watch, verbally abusing somebody else, and they might take it to a next level by, for example, causing physical abuse of some sort. So it's a learned behavior, and people get even more and more creative. Coming back. Oh, don't leave just yet. I've got more for you. So after the social learning experience that we just explored, that I read out from my tab, and well, did you really think I was going to remember all of that? Yes, I wrote down all of that, but that was quite some time ago. Anyway, so the next point I want to explore is dark triad personality. Now, you have all heard about personality disorders, but some of you might not be aware of dark triad personality. So let's explore that. I'll be as quick as I can, and I'll make it as easy as possible for everybody to understand, because not all people who are watching this are coming from a psychology background or social science background, and it's absolutely fine. I'll make it digestible. So over here we can see a diagram of the dark triad personality, starting with narcissism, Machiavellianism, and psychopathy. Now, some of the common traits, if you look into the diagram carefully, you will find that they are common across all the types. So starting with emotionally cold, or lack of empathy. So all of these types, the dark triad in general, they lack empathy towards other people, and usually how their actions affect other people, they do not have any care in the world. Also, they do not have any remorse for the actions that they have done, even if it has harmed somebody in some way. They don't feel guilty about it. So, if you ask me, that a lot of people are have faced bullying in their lifetime. So now, why is only some of them become bullies and others do not? So this is the reason, because some of them have these dark triad personality traits while the others do not have that. Individuals with these traits often exhibit manipulative, callous, and self centered behaviors. In the context of Bandura's social learning theory, there are connections to be made, and I'll be coming to that in a moment. You can pause this slide if you want. Now, going back to observational learning, individuals with dark triad traits may serve as negative role models, such as we can see in this slide that this individual is trying to assert dominance by behaving aggressively. And if someone with these traits engages in aggressive behavior or bullying behavior, those who observe them might be more likely to imitate such actions, such as we can see in this slide. These observed behavior can become a learned pattern for those susceptible to influence. So now that we have covered how bullies are made, we can move on to what are some symptoms that you can look for. It could be your children, somebody else's children, your siblings, your friends, anybody in the neighborhood, in the school campus, at the college campus. It could literally be anybody. These are some of the symptoms that will help you identify whether or not these people are turning into bullies, or these people are displaying traits of personality disorders, so that prevention can take place or treatment can take place. So what are these symptoms? Listen carefully. The first one I want to talk about is impaired relationships. So these individuals have difficulty establishing and maintaining positive relationships with peers, family, or authority figures. This may manifest in intense conflicts, social isolation, or difficulty empathizing with others. The next one up is emotional dysregulation. Now, frequent and intense mood swings, anger outbursts such as this one, or emotional reactions that seem disproportionate to the situation. Sometimes persistent irritability or emotional instability are also observed. Ooh, just look at how mad this person is. Now that makes me want to move to the next one, which is impulsivity. So he's most probably doing it out of impulse. Now, acting on urges or desires without considering the consequences is what we call impulsivity. Impulsive behaviors might include risky activities, substance abuse, engaging in dangerous situations without forethought. So you might see these individuals, they are often under the influence of a substance, and they might end up doing things that they would normally do just out of impulse. And like I already mentioned before, that lack of empathy, this may manifest as a disregard for others' needs or feelings, or a lack of remorse for harmful actions as well. These individuals also have a unstable self-image, a distorted or fluctuating sense of self-identity. This may include chronic feelings of emptiness, unable self-esteem, a lack of clear goals and values, and persistent rule violations, repeatedly engaging in behaviors that violate social norms, rules, or rights of others. First of all, who all can help? So when you see these people with symptoms associated to personality disorders, where do you ask them to go, or where do you take them? You take them to mental health care professionals. It could be a psychiatrist, it could be a psychologist, it could be a therapist, it could be a psychotherapist. We have different terms, umbrella terms for the same people in different countries, different regions. So, or a social worker, even, whatever you have access to. So these are the people who can actually diagnose personality disorders on a clinical level and confirm whether or not these people really have these issues. And to be very honest, symptoms associated with personality disorders are treatable, yes, and symptoms can definitely improve with a combination of therapies that I'm going to discuss now. So you might go and read this up and get a general understanding of how you can use, even if you have questions that am I turning into a bully, because it could happen that you might start experiencing some sort of sadistic pleasure from disturbing people, or causing them trouble. You are a trouble star, you start trouble, you are the thug. I get it, okay. Sometimes you don't choose the thug life chooses you. So what do you do now that you know what could have caused it, now that you know what are the symptoms to look out for? You need to know what are some possible ways to rectify those issues or symptoms associated with bullying. It's more than a personality disorder, to be honest. It's a social disorder. Let's just put it that way. And now I'm going to discuss some therapy models that have been found out to be highly effective in treating personality disorders, which are mostly associated with bullies, as I discussed in while exploring the dark triad personalities and how those traits are associated with bullying as well. So these are some of the therapy models that are highly effective. They're evidence-based, so a lot of research has already been done, and these therapy models have been validated to be for treating personality disorders. So let's take a quick look into what those therapy models are and how they can be implemented in situations where you see somebody turning into a bully, or somebody has already turned into a bully. But what about those people who are getting bullied? I will be covering that in a different episode, so subscribe to my channel to get posted about that. Okay, I'm not good at this shit. Let's get into the therapy models, because we're discussing how bullies are made and how we can prevent that from happening, and if it has already happened, how we can rectify those. So let's keep the focus on that. There'll be a different video for the victims of bullying and how they can turn into survivors, or from victims, because the first thing is to getting out of the victim mode. Okay, that there's a different episode for that, so subscribe now. And yes, these are some of the most effective models of therapy.